I'm Hannah Miller. I am a track and field distance athlete. I'm currently on a scholarship at SMU, Southern Methodist University in the States. It's based in Dallas. Obviously, I'm not there right now with the whole coronavirus situation, so had to sort of get on the last few flights out of the country with Atipa to come home. So it was all a little bit maddening. It's my senior year. I'm supposed to be graduating in May with a double degree in journalism and political science. So I will still graduate with that, but as to when graduation will actually happen and everything else is a little bit up in the air at the moment.
Well, I'm Atipa Mabonga and I am a junior at Southern Methodist University with Hannah, and we're on the same track and field team. I'm a triple jump and long jumper and additional sprints every so often. And I am currently, as Hannah said, in New Zealand because of coronavirus, hoping to get back. I'm expected to be taking summer classes during July, starting July. So everything's up in the air, but hopefully to be returning for that. I'm majoring in sports management and minoring in advertising, as well as hopefully graphics design, and extended to graduate next year, May. So, yeah.
Awesome. And so, Hannah, that it sounds like those last few days and the organising to come home was a pretty, quite a stressful sort of a time.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it first sort of blew up, I thought I'll stay in the States because I'm transferring for my 5th year to run my last year at a larger school, and I haven't quite nailed down which one just yet. So I was planning on staying until June and then moving to wherever I end up and sort of training over the summer for my last season. But then I was scared that I wouldn't be able to move between states. Then I'd have no housing come June. And I think mum and dad were getting fairly worried with me just being on the other side of the world. And I don't have a car in Dallas, so I didn't really have a way of getting around or getting myself out of there if I needed to. So yeah, I packed up everything in my apartment within 2 days, which was a little bit mad. And we booked the last flights out. And yeah, I think there was 8 people on our flight from Dallas to San Francisco, and then 30 on the big long haul flight from San Fran into Auckland. So just very odd.
Yeah, wow. And Atipa, did you have thoughts about staying over there, or were you always going to come back?
No, so I had definitely planned on, my initial plan was to stay in Dallas. Same situation as Hannah. I had an apartment and summer class plans. I had planned to train with my coach during the summer. And then it was from calls with mum and dad. They're just saying, New Zealand's closing its borders. This might be the last chance you can get to go home. So, you'd rather be somewhere where you can stay for a long period of time, and that was the best thing for me to do, was to come home. And so Hannah, I packed everything up in 2 days, said my goodbyes to her I needed to, and then I was on the plane. So definitely did not think I was going to be here. I remember when we were driving because we stayed in Tianao for our self-isolation, and I was like, Hannah, I can't believe we're actually home right now. This is insane, because I had, in my mind, I was mentally okay, I'm not going home till Christmas, and then to think, I'm here now and it's April, so it's very surreal.
Yeah, and I wanted to know a little bit more about the isolation in Tiano. How did that go? You're obviously still friends.
Yeah.
No, it was fine.
Lots of Netflix, and school kept us occupied. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, we made good inroads into Gossip Girl. What else did we watch? Watch some of the Tiger King, Tiger Wars Netflix.
So saving grace.
Whose place were you staying at? What was how did that sort of come about?
So my family has a holiday house in Tiana. We've had that for 10 years or so, and mum had arranged so that it would be available. No one was going to be booking it out, because normally people would rent it out. That would be available for us as soon as we got there. It was clean, prepared, and then we had small groceries, and our next door neighbour who lived there would check in on us and make sure that we had food. And then Hannah's mum and dad provided the car for us to go from Queenstown to Tianao. So
awesome. And I guess going back to the study and to the States and things, Hannah, you're sort of, as you say, you're approaching the end of your time there?
Yeah, so I'll graduate in May with my undergrad degree, and then because I redshirted the cross-country season, which means I sat it out on purpose, And obviously I don't have an outdoor season now, so I have those 2 seasons still for a 5th year. So I'm going to go and do a graduate degree somewhere in the States. Haven't quite nailed that down just yet. I've got sort of 2 main options at the moment. So I'm excited for that, to see where it leads, but definitely a little bit uncertain at this moment.
And you were studying journalism and poli-sci. How did that play out?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've really enjoyed both degrees immensely, and I think they complement each other quite nicely, sort of play both sides of the political arena, which is where my main interests lie, and sort of international policy and that sort of thing. I've had amazing opportunities at SMU. They have a really good program for minors in public policy and international affairs. It's just a cohort of 10 people, and you get to go to DC and work with professionals. So I think having the journalism and sort of the theoretical side of political science was really helpful for doing all of those sort of practical things. So I've had a really good time, but very excited to be getting it done and graduating in May.
With the political scene in the States, I mean, what a great place to be there and amongst it.
Yeah, no, interesting. I like being sort of an international student, so I can sort of have an outsider perspective and say without people looking at me and judging me for my thoughts. But yeah, no, it's very interesting.
And Atipa, how are your studies going?
Studies are great. So as I said, sports management is my major and advertising is my minor. And with being my junior year, I was actually on track to graduate early. So I could have graduated this December, but I decided to stick out the plan and complete my 4 years. And in that process, I'm picking up a minor of graphics design. So it's been challenging doing my studies from home, though. I never, I don't know, it's a hard combination of trying to balance everything out, but thoroughly enjoying it. Dallas is like the number one place for my opinion, for like sports and advertising. So I feel like my connections that I get from networking with my professors and just being in the city with like the Dallas Cowboys and stuff has been a great resource for learning. And I'm trying to get an internship over the summer in Dallas, the next summer coming. So studies are good. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and yeah.
Exciting, and obviously something that's quite, it's reasonably it's closely linked to sport, which you're obviously into.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to find a way of incorporating what I love and what I'm passionate about into my career, and it's been great to be able to balance like the creative side of me with like the competitive and the athlete side. And not only am I passionate about being an athlete and performing, but also seeing other athletes excel, and just the sports industry as a whole. I think sports is like a universal language that everyone knows, like regardless of where you are in the world. Track is track and golf is golf, and people unite to that. And it's just, I think that's so beautiful and so powerful. And that's like why I was so driven into work in like the sports industry. So yeah.
And it's going to be fascinating to see the way sport responds and adapts, from this current sort of situation, isn't it?
Yeah, hugely. I actually was on a few phone calls actually with the head salesman for the Dallas Wings, which is the NBA females WNBA team, and he was saying, he's like, it's going to change. Like, I can already see it now. The way that sports interacts with people is going to be so different, because so far, like, gambling is already a thing that's everyone's trying to figure out, and having digitally, like, technology is going to boom. And so how is sports going to have to react with that? How is player relationships, like infield atmospheres and things like that? So it's really exciting to be part of this and trying to see, like, even though this virus is not the best thing, it's going to be cool to see what comes out of it and how the industry adapts and changes to it. So yeah. I'm excited to trying to be amongst it.
Very exciting. Hannah, it probably feels like a really long time ago, but the World University Games last year, that'd be a big experience for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. It does seem like a very long time ago. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. It was my second time going. I went as a freshman as well. I think I learned a lot the second time, because I still probably didn't perform quite to where I felt my ability was. Like, I came home 2 weeks later and ran a road race 10K, the same distance that I raced there, and I ran it way faster, like just in a casual road race. So I think it was really just another good learning opportunity for me to realize I put too much pressure on myself in certain situations. And I think I was overthinking, you know, like my mental plans and going into things. And I think taking the cross country season off this past year, and then my first race back, I ran a school record and a PR in the 5K. And I think I realized that I perform better when, you know, I prepare and I train well, but when I get on the line, I sort of just tell myself, like, you know, you're here to do what you love and let the chips fall where they may. And like, if you think you can go in a certain time, go. Like, don't overthink it. Don't think I'm going too early, or because I think for so long I've placed a lot of my expectations on my race plans and made them reliant on what other people are doing. And I think that happened at World Unis. Like, I went to the front quite early, and I think as soon as I did that, I told myself I've gone to the front too early, and I sort of set myself up for failure without really realizing it. And I had sort of pre-written in my head halfway through the race how it was going to turn out. Whereas at Boston, when I came back after my cross country season and ran my 5K, I made moves early on, and I thought, okay, like, I'm expending energy probably earlier than I want to, but I trust that I've done enough training to like finish this off well. And even if it's not exactly perfect or where I want to be, you know, we're not going to stop until I'm across that line and see where it is, and then we can take that and use it for the next one. So I think coming out of World Unis and then taking a season off was a really good time for me to reflect and just bring it back to the basics. And my whole mantra this season as a senior has kind of just been, you know, what did you do as a freshman that made you so successful? And it was that I didn't have these big expectations. I just went into every race really excited to see what I could do. And yeah, so I definitely felt that at Boston, and then again at indoor champs just before Corona took off, I won my 5K again. And that was really nice to leave SMU, my last race, having won it and, you know, taken it back. And I just feel really confident going into where I'm heading next. So even though it's quite uncertain at the moment and I feel like training's a bit up in the air, being at home, you know, I can take confidence in the fact that I know running and sport is something that I love, and when I get on the start line, I know I can pull it together. And yeah, I'm excited for the next chapter.
And what was behind you missing a season?
I just really, well, after World Unis, my old coach, the head coach at SMU, she moved on and left, so I wanted to just take a season before I started working with the new coach. I love her. She's been really great for the team, but I just wanted to take a season and sort of take stock. And I think I was physically burnt out a little bit after World Unis as well, because you're competing from January right through to like basically the end of July, nonstop, which is a lot. And yeah, a lot of people in the distance world sort of take a year somewhere in their 4 years so that they can do a fifth year and just be a little bit more mature and like ready to go and transition into the professional world. So I always sort of planned to do that somewhere along the way. And that just sort of fell into place with the new coach, and yeah, it gave me the cross country season to take it off and restock. And then, but I knew I would get antsy not racing at all. So I thought, okay, I'll run the indoor season and then I'll redshirt or take the outdoor season as well, which now we don't even have because of Corona. I was planning on flying myself individually to some meets, but obviously that's not a thing anymore. Yeah. And so then next year it also means I'll race cross country and I'll have the indoor season off to retrain and get good base work in before an outdoor. So it sort of fell into place perfectly because I'll have sort of December, January, February to get really fit again and then go and run some fast outdoor times. So yeah.
Nice. And Atipa, you're pleased with the way your leaping's developing?
Yeah, indoors has always been a challenging season for me because I never fully compete to like my runway is like half the size. I do events that I'm not normally in, like the 60, but from what I was competing, I was super excited because smashing PRs, smashing like my goals for where I wanted to be and on track for this outdoor season. And I think my sophomore year was such a learning. I had a lot of injuries, but I had a lot of mental growth in that time and just learning that like you can push yourself beyond where you think you can go, and you just have to learn from your mistakes. And as Hannah said, like not to put too much pressure on yourself. So going into this junior year, my taking that all in and soaking it in and being like, okay, this is how the season's going to go. I was super excited and I saw lots. I was in the best shape I'd ever been. And it's heartbreaking that the season's gone, but, you know, I got to take that learning into the next year coming and hopefully also do it within my fifth year if I get one. So, but yeah.
And I'll ask you both the same question. We're obviously tremendously proud of you as both Academy Southland graduates. Are there things from the academy that you still sort of use to this day in competition and in life? Hannah, will kick off with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely, like, I can't reiterate how important a growth and like learning step the academy was for me. I think it was the first time in my life that I let myself believe, okay, you are good enough to be, a national and international athlete. I'm someone who's very much a perfectionist and hard on myself. And I think the academy made me sort of take a situation and realize that, it's never going to be perfect, and there's always going to be external factors that you can't change, but it's how you react to that situation and how you put yourself into the next phase that counts, and how you take challenges and use them, which I think we all know, but just being in the academy, you're sort of forced to apply it. And yeah, it's definitely helped me grow so much in that area. And yeah, lots of little things I still think of when I'm racing, like little comments that Jason made, or, I'm inspired to see my teammates and other academy members doing amazing, amazing things on the world stage. It just sort of like lifts you up, and it's a really cool community to be a part of. And having seen all the resources that are available in the States at college and stuff, while it's amazing and they have so much more money to pump into it, like the academy doesn't fall short. We definitely provided in Southland with amazing, amazing resources that set you up to be as good as you need to be. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, going off that, the academy was such a stepping stone for me. Wow, like I got so much growth from that. And like the resources that you get, I think just the people that you get, Carly, Amy, Jason, are just so unique and so precious, and I value my time and my relationship that I got with them. And it's something that I've never seen anywhere else. Like all the meetings I had with Jason and conversations with Amy and Carly, like I still hold on to those so much. And from the smallest of things, of like time management to like your nutrition, pre-race meals and post-race meals, and motivation that I got from Jason, like definitely hold on to it all. And I found that I think the biggest thing that I learned from the academy is how crucial and how influential a support crew can be, and how much you just lift each other up, and how you can, like, even though track is like an individual sport, it takes a team to get to your performance, and it takes people around you to lift you up and get there. And I was blessed to have Hannah like along with me at SMU, and all the people that I graduated with in the academy, and even the people who are a year older and a year younger than me, like you still stay connected and you still support each other and message each other, and that is like what drives you through your sports. And that is the biggest thing that I learned and that I take away from the academy, is just that unity that you get and the support that you get that lasts you so long. Like the fact that I could call Carly now and be like, hey, like how are you, or like have a chat with Jason, I need some help about this. Like you won't find, those relationships are so rare and so like precious, and I hold on to that so dearly. Yeah, very, very grateful for my time in the academy, and just made me grow as a person and as an athlete. And yeah, very grateful.
Ah, fantastic. And are you guys doing like live classes at the moment? How's that working?
Yeah, I have a lecture at 3 a.m. New Zealand time on a Saturday morning, so that's fun. And yeah, it's like 3-hour long Zoom calls, and the professors do not pre-record them, so we're dealing with that.
Yeah, it is a time. I actually have to take an exam on Zoom at 1:30 in the morning on tomorrow, actually. So it's challenging. You try to figure it out, and I think it was quite funny when we were in self-isolation, because we were both trying to figure out how to do it. And so it'd be, okay, Hannah's up at 3, I'm up at 3. So I'm just trying to figure that out and getting assignments in on time, and it's been a mission, but
yeah, I've still got my laptop like set to Dallas time, just so I don't miss or like screw up any deadlines. But my calendar's still on Dallas as well, so I freak out because it's the day behind, and then I'll think something's due, and then I'm like 2 days out. But yeah, we're just being time managed, hopefully.
Yeah, Carly's tips are going.
Training in the bubble, how's that going?
So my dad got very creative and made me a gym out in our old wool shed. He hooked up an old bike to like a V-bout and a generator. So I've got a bike trainer, and I got some ski ropes and made like a TRX, and we've got a crowbar, and we put big like 10-litre water things on the end. So I've got a squat bar and everything. It's very impressive. So I've got a gym sorted. Running is easy enough to do by myself, but I'm definitely this wind in Southland. I just always forget how windy it gets, and then I come home and it's a bit of a challenge coming back one way on the runs. But could definitely be worse off, and there's a lot of sports in way tougher situations than I am. So I miss having like a team around me for motivation and stuff, but training's pretty much the same.
It's a little bit challenging because I don't have a pit. Well, I have a pit. We made a pit here at home from when I was in high school, but since I haven't been here, maintenance hasn't been the greatest. So definitely been like adjusting that and keeping it nice and stuff, but using my brothers as my training partners. I have a lot of 100 reps and stuff that need to be timed. So my youngest brother, Marco, is my coach, and he's like, right, okay, you have 15 minutes until the next rep and things like that. So really just improvising. Kiwi ingenuity is definitely kicking in strong, trying to make up for like the lack of the gyms and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely using the resources I have, calling coaches, calling teammates as often as possible as well. So
awesome. Hey, well, I just want to thank you guys very much. We're obviously very proud of you, both as Southlanders who are, blazing a path overseas and in the States and doing great stuff over there. So well done on what you're doing. I know it's obviously been a bit of a mission with what's happened, but you're obviously, that resilience that Southlanders are famous for, you're both showing it in spades. So well done, and thank you very much for your time.